Okay, today we're going to be talking about whole steps and half steps and what they are. So, let's talk about what they are. They're intervals. Interval, here's the word interval. And what this is it's basically just the distance between two notes. Okay, and these are going to be our smallest intervals, our whole step and our half step in Western music. In like Indian music, there's quarter steps, which would be in between two keys on the piano. We don't do those in Western music, but they are very cool. So half step is our smallest interval. It's when two keys are right next to each other. It's crunchy when you play it on top. You can see that B and C have no key in between them. That's a half step. Okay, our other pair of white keys that's a half step is E and F. No black key in between those two. Okay, now we can do half steps between white keys and black keys. So F to a G flat, that's a half step. A to a G sharp, that's a half step down. And let's say A to a B flat, that's a half step up. G to an F sharp is a half step down, etc. So one key. And you know the chromatic scale is all half steps, where we just go in key order on the keyboard. A whole step is two keys away. So C to D, is there a key in between? Yes, there's that key in between. So that's a whole step. D to E, is there a key in between? Yes. G to A, key in between. We can also go, so like F sharp to G sharp, there's a key in between those two, so that's a whole step. The other way these are referred to sometimes is half step is called a semitone and a whole step is called a tone. I don't really use that, but just in case you ever come across that, that's what it means. And there's a third way to refer to them. We'll talk a little bit about it here, but we'll talk about it more when we do intervals, full-on intervals. Okay, so let's see another example of a whole step. Let's go C sharp to D sharp. That's a whole step, or you could call this D flat to E flat. That's also a whole step. They're always going to go in alphabetical order because, let's just put a clef up here, our treble and our bass clef. So if we look at these, steps are always going to be a line to the next space or a space to the next line. This would be a step going up. This is a step going down. This is a step going up. This is a step going down. Okay, and how do we figure out if they're half and whole steps? Well, let's go through it. You're going to identify, step one is identify the notes. Step two is see how far apart they are on the keyboard. That's all you need. So let's identify these notes. We know that this swirls around G, so G is our second line, which means that A is right here. And we should be, before we do any of this stuff, we should be really comfortable with intervals or with notes on especially the clef that we play in. Okay, but we should start to learn both the other clef if we don't know them. Okay, so A is right here, which means that this is an A. And up here, it's a step up. So it's always going to go in alphabetical order when you go up and reverse alphabetical order when you go down. So this is an A to a B. And we're not doing sharps and flats yet. That'll make a difference, but we'll see examples with that. So A, and this is actually this A. So A to B. Is there a key in between them? Yes, there is a key in between them. So this is a whole step, otherwise known as a minor second. We draw a lowercase m and a 2. That's our official name for it. Let's look at this one. So A is right here, G, that makes this an F. And then below F is E because it's a step and it's going to be one letter away. As we go down, we go backwards in the alphabet. So let's find an F and then an E. Is there a key in between these two? No, because it's one of our B. Remember, B and C and E and F are our white keys that have half steps in between them. So F and E is a half step. We can write an H. Sorry, this is a whole step. What am I talking about? Major second. That's a capital M. And then half step, minor second, lowercase m. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's look at the bass clef ones. We have this note right here. So this is an F. We know that A is on the bottom space. So let's count up A, B, C. So this is a C right here, and then above that is going to be a D. So let's look at C and D on our keyboard. C is right here, D is right here. Is there a key in between them? Yes, there is. So that's a whole step or a major second. Okay, and I know that A is the top line, and so that right below that is a G. So this is a G, which makes this an F because we're going down and it goes backwards in the alphabet or down on the piano. So G to F, is there a key in between? Yes, so this is a whole step or a major second. Capital M2, finish that, parentheses. Okay, I'm going to put up a couple intervals for you. Once these are done, what I'd like you to do is pause it and try to figure out, is it a major second or is it a minor second, or is it a whole step or a half step, okay? And I'm going to be using sharps and flats this time. And I'll do 3 on each clef for you. And we'll use some ledger lines too. Let's do, not too crazy with the ledger lines. Okay, so there's that one. Let's do, a high ledger line here. And let's do, we're here. All right. So I'm gonna go through, so you pause the video right now, and you can figure these out, and then I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna solve these for you. And then that'll be the end of our video. So our first one, so you're pausing right now and doing it, and now I'm gonna go over it. So this first one, identify the note. Well, A is right here. That makes this an A flat. Okay, and then right below it is a G, a regular G natural. Okay, is there a key in between those two? No. So this is a half step or a minor second. I see this, I know that's a C, except it's a C sharp. And then the next note up is a D natural. And I see that there's no key in between those, so it's another half step or a minor second. Up here, this one is a D flat up to an E flat. Is there a key in between those two? You bet. That D natural is in between. So those are a whole step apart. So that's a whole step or a major second. This one right here, we're down in bass clef now. So this is an F because it's on this fourth line that we drew, but it's an F sharp, so we take it up a half step. Okay, F sharp and then to a G natural. Is there a key in between those two? No. So that is a half step, our smallest interval in Western music. Okay, we know this is middle C right here, and then we go down, that would be a B, except it's a B flat. Is there a key in between? Yes. So this is a whole step or a major second. And then down here I made this one, so the bottom line is a G, except it's a G sharp. So G, that's this low G down here, except it's a G sharp. And then up to an A natural. So that is there a key in between there? No. So that is a half step or a minor second. All right. I'll post a practice exercise in the description, so click on that and you can practice these. These are really, really important to know, especially when we start to talk about scales. So that's whole and half steps.